Margaret, and you sometimes mention the three Ds. I'm interested to know what they actually are.
Yes, it's a silly thing of mine, actually. It's just it's a way to remember. The first of the three Ds is denial, which is a huge mechanism, as we've discussed already, in the early stages of dementia, and for families.
A bit of a safety net.
It's a safety net, and it's a perfectly natural. I've got a lot of time for denial as a psychological mechanism in human beings. I think it helps us all a lot. But the point is, when does it become negative, and when does it stop us getting the help that we actually really badly need? But it's there, and there are apparently a very tiny percentage of people diagnosed with Alzheimer's do apparently not know that there's anything wrong with them.
Right.
But it's tiny. Most people are aware, and they're explaining it away. You know, I've lost my husband, we've moved house, all the usual sort of things, and the family will be doing the same. So, you know, just to put it out there, don't forget about denial. Depression is a much more, is a big thing, because it's very, very common in older people and very, very common in people with dementia in the early stages, and not surprisingly, having received this diagnosis. And as is sadly still the case with so many people, the doctor giving the diagnosis will give this advice about what Kate Sroffer calls prescribed disengagement.
Oh, what's that?
Well, I remember one of our old original members of our community telling us in a group how he was early onset dementia. Went to his doctor. He said, had all the tests. He said, well, you've got Alzheimer's disease. You're going to have to give up work. You're going to have to give up driving. I suggest you go home and get all your papers in order, and then wait to die. Now, that's what he heard him say. I don't expect he said wait to die, but that was, in essence, the message he heard. And that's what Kate Sroffer means by prescribed disengagement.
Right, so giving up.
Give up. We, on the other hand, are saying, no, it's the very, very worst thing you can do. Get out there, do something, join other people, find new friends. If you've lost old friends, find new friends. You know, depression. So look out for it. The signs of depression are, there's a lot in the media now about depression in people of all ages, particular concerns about young men. But it's, you know, practically a day doesn't go by without some programme about it.
And I think a lot of the symptoms of depression can be very similar to the symptoms of dementia.
Exactly, they can. And
that
this
sort of lethargy.
The lethargy, the not wanting to leave the house, the not wanting to join in anything, all the sort of, they have a different cause, but the symptoms are the same. Now, the thing about depression, especially in older people, is people respond very well to antidepressants. And so we need a referral to the GP if we think that this is happening. And you will know the person you're looking after best. You will know if this is likely a possibility. But there are all these other therapies which we in TIBS offer with the work of our relaxation, our wellness worker. So she's offering yoga, relaxation, breathing, all these things,
so
isn't
all those
she?
Mindfulness.
All these mindfulness type techniques. And they are helpful for the person with dementia and the carer together. Remember, you're going through this together. It should be a joint venture, which is why we designed this course, so that people with dementia can attend as well as people who are looking after them, because it's, after all, your brains and your illness, and you have a right to know. So depression is treatable, that's the point. Now, the third one, the main one, is, in my mind, is delirium.
Okay.
Used to be known, that's the medical word, and that's now won out over the other term, which is acute confusional episodes, which is what I grew up training about in the 90s and 20s. It's it is, if somebody suddenly changes, like overnight, and their behaviour changes, if it's Alzheimer's, you will know the person exactly what to expect. If they suddenly become confused, disorientated, frightened, aggressive, incontinent, any sudden and dramatic change, this is almost certainly an episode of delirium.
Okay.
A huge number of people who get admitted to hospital are admitted with delirium, mostly, very often, as a result of an infection, mostly a urinary tract infection or a chest infection.
Right, okay.
GP not involved. The person is so bad that you go down the emergency route and they go by ambulance through A&E into hospital.
So it's something physical.
It's something physical is then picked up in hospital. They're hospitalised. In hospital, their behaviour will deteriorate unless, we all know what we're talking about, and that this should be a short-term admission, and the people will respond quickly to the antibiotics and should quickly go back home again and return to the state they were before. They shouldn't be any worse and they shouldn't be any better, but they should be the same. The point why we feel it's necessary to stress it is because the person's first line of defence is you, the carer or supporter. Nobody else is going to pick this up quickly, as quickly as you will, and picking it up quickly is of the essence.
Okay.
Because it's almost always, not always, but almost always an infection. And the terrible thing, if you look at the statistics, is the rapid decline that takes place with people once they're in hospital. Maybe they pick up another hospital-acquired infection. They end up staying several weeks. By the time they're not able to go home. Or I've heard of people saying, my husband walked into hospital and came out not being able to walk.
Yeah.
Terrible stories we've heard of this happening. So it's really, really important that we're all alert for it.
To be aware and
to be
early
aware
intervention.
and ring the GP would be the first port of call. And if not, then 111.
Okay.
But the emergency, and they'll almost certainly respond to antibiotics. It can be other things. As I said earlier, it might be unstable type 1 diabetes. It might be...
Could even be something like dehydration.
Yes, it could certainly be dehydration. And certainly it happens. People are admitted to hospital with delirium from care homes, which should never happen, but does, because they've been dehydrated or whatever.
Okay.
So it's just that it's a really important thing for us all to be aware of.
So depression, denial,
and
delirium.
Those are the 3 Ds.